Jesus will demonstrate what matters most to him. The Lord confronted Peter in a vision a few months after Jesus returned to heaven. Peter was dumbfounded by the meaning of the vision until there was a knock on the door. At Caesarea, there was a man named Cornelius, a centurion in what was known as the Italian regiment. He and all his family were devout and God-fearing. He gave generously to those in need and prayed to God regularly. One day at about 3 p.m, he had a vision. He distinctly saw an angel of God who came to him and said, "Cornelius?" Cornelius stared at him in fear. "What is it, Lord?" he asked. The angel answered, "Your prayers and gifts to the poor have come up as a memorial offering before God. Now send men to Joppa to bring back a man named Simon who is called Peter." 4 days later, as Peter entered the house, Cornelius met him and fell at his feet in reverence. But Peter made him get up. "Stand up," he said. "I'm only a man myself." Talking with him, Peter went inside and found a large gathering of people. He said to them, "You are well aware that it's against our law for a Jew to associate with a Gentile or visit him. But God has shown me that I should abandon this practice. God told me that I must not call any man impure or unclean. So when I was sent for, I came without raising any objection. May I ask why you sent for me?" Cornelius answered, 4 days ago I was in my house praying at this hour. At 3 p.m, suddenly a man in shining clothes stood before me and said, "Cornelius, God has heard your prayer and remembered your gifts to the poor. Send to Joppa for Simon, who is called Peter. He is a guest in the home of Simon the tanner, who lives by the sea." So I sent for you immediately, and it was good of you to come. Now we are all here in the presence of God to listen to everything the Lord has commanded you to tell us. When Peter began to speak, I now realize how true it is that God does not show favoritism, but accepts men from every nation who fear him and do what is right. I am sure that Peter, with his Jewish paradigm, was completely overwhelmed by this revolutionary thinking. He must have been astonished by their willingness to embrace the gospel of Christ. Peter's visit with Cornelius transformed the thinking of the early church. Peter's experience would later underscore Paul's transforming theology. Up to this time, most of the converts to Christianity were Jews, and as such, they were still Jews in terms of culture and behavior, but Christians in terms of theology. Due to their Jewish thinking, they were unwilling to contaminate themselves by entering into the home of a Gentile. In vision, God revealed a profound truth to Peter. Cornelius was just as much a child of God as any Jew, even though Cornelius was not a Jew. The whole world will implode with fury during the first 60 days of the Great Tribulation. There will be thunder, lightning, rumblings, a global earthquake, firestorms, 2 asteroid impacts, and darkness. Death and destruction will occur on an unimaginable scale. Infrastructures will disappear. The world will be ruined beyond repair. The essential difference between a natural disaster, such as the earthquake in Haiti, and a divine judgment, such as the 7 trumpets of Revelation, is purpose. When God sends a divine judgment, there is a divine purpose. This purpose is revealed before God acts. For example, God gave Noah a message and a mission before sending the flood. God sent Jonah to Nineveh before destroying the city. God sent 2 angels into Sodom before destroying the city. For over 100 years, God sent many prophets to Jerusalem before destroying Jerusalem. And today, God is sending a warning to the world through the prophet John. The book of Daniel has been unsealed, and the book of Revelation speaks clearly about God's coming judgments. And unfortunately, few are willing to listen and prepare spiritually. Jesus has said, as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. During the Great Tribulation, the Holy Spirit will give power to God's servants, who will give a clarion declaration of the gospel of Jesus all over the world. The overwhelming shock and awe caused by the first 4 trumpets will shatter religious paradigms. Presently, many people are closed to the gospel because of their religion and culture. But this overwhelming surprise will humble individual hearts, and people will become receptive to the gospel of Jesus Christ. In a setting of global ruin, the world will thoughtfully listen to the 144,000. Many, like Cornelius, will receive Jesus as their Redeemer, and many more, like Pharaoh, will only harden their hearts. But what rebuttal is there given the circumstances, the awesome display of signs and wonders, to the message that the 144,000 will proclaim? The 144,000 will announce the sovereignty, glory, and love of Jesus Christ, and they will invite every living person to join his coming kingdom. The 144,000 will present the gospel of Jesus to the world in 4 waves. Each wave will be presented as a non-negotiable demand. During the first wave, everyone will be told, "Fear God and give him glory, because the hour of his judgment has come." The 144,000 will announce the commencement of the judgment of the living. They will inform the inhabitants of earth that our faith in Jesus will be tested, and Jesus Christ himself will judge us. And each person will appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that each one of us may receive what is due him for the things done while in the body, whether good or bad. So the bottom line is that Jesus will demonstrate during the Great Tribulation that salvation is not church-specific. Salvation is heart-specific. People like Cornelius will be eager to learn more, and the numberless harvest that comes out of the Great Tribulation will demonstrate to the universe that God has and has always had the children in every religious system. May God transform our hearts and open our minds so that we might eagerly embrace the full gospel of Christ, just as Cornelius did. God will gather those whose hearts are for him.